In the heart of the bustling city of Crestwood, there stood an unassuming house with a dark secret. For years, the old Victorian mansion had been the talk of the town, whispered about in hushed tones among the locals. It was said to be haunted, cursed by a malevolent spirit that possessed anyone who dared to enter. Sarah Collins, a curious and adventurous young woman, had always been drawn to the supernatural. She had heard the stories about the house and its dark history and decided to investigate. Armed with a tape recorder, a camera, and a heart full of skepticism, she set out to uncover the truth behind the rumors. As Sarah stepped over the threshold of the old mansion, a shiver ran down her spine. The air inside was heavy with an oppressive presence, and the walls seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Undeterred, she began her investigation, documenting every creaking floorboard and flickering light. Hours turned into days as Sarah delved deeper into the house's mysteries. She discovered a hidden room in the attic, filled with dusty books and ancient artifacts. Among them was a journal, its pages filled with the ramblings of previous residents who had been driven to madness by the malevolent spirit. Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as she read the journal's accounts of possessions and torment. But she dismissed it as mere superstition and continued her exploration. Late one night, as Sarah sat in the dimly lit living room, she heard a soft, whispering voice. It seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, filling the room with an eerie presence. The voice spoke of pain and longing, of a desire to be free. Sarah was startled but intrigued. She decided to communicate with whatever entity inhabited the house, setting up a makeshift séance in the attic. As she called out to the spirit, the temperature in the room dropped, and the air grew thick with anticipation. Suddenly, a powerful force overcame her, and Sarah felt herself being pulled into darkness. It was as if her very soul was being ripped from her body, replaced by a malevolent presence. She had become the latest victim of the house's curse. Sarah's friends and family watched in horror as her behavior changed. She became distant and unpredictable, speaking in a voice that was not her own. Her eyes held a vacant, haunted look, and her once vibrant spirit had been replaced by something sinister. Desperate to save Sarah, her loved ones sought the help of a local paranormal expert, Dr. Samuel Price. He arrived at the mansion, armed with ancient rituals and a determination to free Sarah from the malevolent spirit's grasp. As Dr. Price performed the rituals, the house seemed to come alive with a furious energy. Objects flew through the air, and the walls groaned in protest. But he pressed on, calling upon the spirit to release its hold on Sarah. In a final, climactic moment, Sarah's body convulsed, and the malevolent presence was expelled. It writhed in the air, before dissipating into nothingness. Sarah collapsed to the floor, unconscious, but free from the curse that had possessed her. As Sarah awoke, she could barely remember the horrors she had endured. The house, once a place of darkness, now stood silent and empty. The malevolent spirit had been banished, and Crestwood could finally breathe a sigh of relief, but Sarah would never forget the terror of being possessed, and she knew that some mysteries were better left untouched. The old mansion, once a place of fascination, was now a reminder that there were forces beyond human comprehension, lurking in the shadows, waiting to seize those who dared to seek the truth.